Before we started working together, where were you at physically and mentally with your health?
I think I was more like frustrated with it because it's it takes up a lot of time and it's sometimes difficult to fit everything in your life. And then if you don't try and do something with it or work to get something done,
Yeah,
then it just spirals downhill and you end up, being in places you don't want to be.
it's crazy. The progress you made so far. I mean, it's only been what, 4 months now?
Uh,
I say we started working.
I'd say the last week in October,
Yeah.
so around there, yeah,
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 wow. I'm sorry, February. And
hmm
yeah, man. That's,
yeah.
no, well, it's certainly change. And okay. I can always cut this out, but the next question is, all right, I'm just gonna start here for the next question. So, what was your body weight when we started, and what's your current weight now?
So when my first weigh-in, I was 232 pounds at start. Now, as of this week, I was 198 pounds,
That's
34 pounds.
34 pounds. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
That's actually crazy. That's still crazy, eh? Like that's absurd. 34 pounds though, and wait, and what? It was the last week of October, November, December, January. That's like almost 4 months. Yeah, like
Yeah,
around 15 weeks, and you drop that. That's crazy.
yeah. It's how do you say that? It's rewarding in one way. It's how do you it's not how do you say that? It's very like not so. It may sound strange, but it's not so difficult in one way. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where you're when you weigh yourself on Monday,
Hmm.
like even there's sometimes there where I actually went up, I think
Hmm.
2 pounds, and it didn't let it get to me, and then I'm more of a numbers person, but didn't bother me. And then the following week, it's sort of you're back on track. It subsided, so your body,
Hmm.
your body's strange anyway, right? So,
So how did you feel after seeing that? Seeing the adjustment, right? The change in weight when it went down the next week.
oh, more positive. Like it was good. It was like I wasn't
Mhm.
negative about it, but I knew it would
Mhm.
work itself out, right? Because I think at that point I had started into my like weight training programs
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So maybe I was retaining a bit more water. I'm not too sure how it works. So
Mhm.
I think that might have been it. But back on track the following week, like it seemed to subside, and
Mhm.
I was surprised when I stepped on the scales. I
Sure.
dropped, I think, from 207, I think it was, back down to like um 202 or 204. Lost about, I think maybe I lost about 5 pounds after that the following week, something like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
100%. Before we started working together, what were you kind of expecting out of this? Like, what did you genuinely expect when you first started working with me?
Um, well, I did expect that, like any weight loss program that you're gonna have to buy into it. You gotta, there's a lot of sacrifice, and then you have to commit to it 100%, right? And then there's a lot,
Mhm.
you have to have the willpower to go ahead and do this stuff, because if you don't have all those three, you might feel that temptation to take a day off, or
Yeah.
you know come up with some excuse why you can't follow the diet, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But you still, you learn how to make adjustments and make things work, because unfortunately my job is, it can be very unpredictable. So
Oh.
you still have to try and find the time to make all this stuff fit in. You gotta, like I said, you
Mhm.
gotta take care of yourself too.
And so what changed between now, right now in time, or what changed when we first started working to where you are now in terms of how you feel and who you are as a person?
Uh, well, obviously you feel better overall, and I think seeing results makes you, feel that sense of accomplishment. It gives you
Mhm.
and it helps you to, I'd say, continue, because, it's like such a, um, a positive thing that you're actually achieving something, right? So I've had one hip replacement when I
Hmm.
was young, and then unfortunately I have arthritis is in our family, so it's genetic. So then
Hmm.
I have my other hip is going to need to be replaced. I'm just prolonging it, and through all the the cardio, I can't do high impact, so I do low impact. So I have to do my cardio is done on an elliptical trainer, and I
Hmm.
have programs I use, and basically if I gonna do anything on a treadmill, it's just I put a nice incline on there and walk at a good pace.
Hmm.
When I can, I mix it up sometimes, but yeah, I've got a system for that, and I think I had blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
Right? I had issues with my blood pressure, and
Hmm.
now that I've lost the weight, I'm going to be coming off of it. So, which is a positive result. Which,
Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
also, my overall, even my skin, like
Hmm.
it's crazy. It's just there's a lot of things that change when you put the work in.
And when you mentioned like your hip, I can only imagine, right? Like, how did that feel, at least getting into the cardio routine in terms of your body getting through that, especially with the shifts that you have working?
Well, what happens is when you have your the ball in your hip, your I would say that's your in your joints, you've got cartilage, and the cartilage gets eaten away, so it's bone. It starts to turn bone on bone, so it's painful. But what happens is
Hmm.
your body adjusts to it, and what it does, it's you use different muscles. So I found that my quad was like it was tightening up, and because it's compensating for my hip, and what I've done now through cardio, it helps loosen it because
Yeah.
your pain is not actually in the hip, it was in my quad. So now that's loosened it up, and I'm able to walk around and do my thing without feeling any pain. So I'm actually it's working in my favor right now. And at my age, I do want to prolong it. So because hips only last about 25 years, not feeling I know it's there, but I'm not feeling the pain I had before at all.
Hmm. And how long have you been feeling that pain in your hip when you had,
Oh, I was feeling it for about a year before this.
oh my goodness. Okay, then I mean, it's a weight off your shoulders, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it feels a lot better. Yeah, it's more, with pain can become it's like a
Yeah,
burden. It just, yeah, gets on you. It gets you down a bit, right?
100%. And how have you found the strength training with that?
Good. Like, well, the program you put together for me, it's
Hmm.
even the leg exercises are not, um, they're designed so, it's not putting a lot of pressure or causing, pain in your hip while you're doing it. So it's busy in my schedule, right? So sort of, you know, to go back now and do this within I'd say with almost a 4 month period, I'm already back to where I was 25 years ago.
How long has it been since you last saw the numbers, like the weight that you have right now?
I'm 55 years old right now, so I bet you any money it was probably 20 to 25 years ago.
25 years since you've last seen those numbers.
Yeah, yeah, 25 years. Yeah, so it's crazy. It
Mhm.
makes you feel better when you step on the scale and you're under 200 pounds. I think my other, life went on. I did work out and follow a program with my wife,
Mhm.
and we are doing good with it. But then we had kids,
Mhm.
and then I had my obviously had my one hip replaced. I think when I was 33, and I got into coaching soccer with my kids, and it's been ongoing. I still coach soccer now
Mhm.
at a youth level, so it's pretty cool for me. And I tried to do something about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was only doing cardio, but because of my work, the diet's not that great. I think I was eating less during the day. I don't drink too much coffee or tea. I was drinking at least two Starbucks hot chocolates when we know how many calories in those. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about the diet part because I thought, but
Yeah.
I did get results. But the lowest I went down to was like 205 pounds, and I couldn't break that, right? And it was like sort of
Mhm.
frustrating. And no, and now I realize why in one way. It makes no sense to do all that cardio that I've done without any type of diet. And when you're working all day and you're not getting to eat, and then you eat at home, and you're eating a lot more than your portion's way bigger than because you're trying to make up for it, and that's not
Mhm.
that's not the proper way, right?
No,
You
and
know,
it's
yeah.
so crazy. So shoot, one second. Knock that thing. It's been 25 years.
Yep.
I'm so mind blown. You're so crushing it, and we're already there. What was the goal? We had the goal set for what it was 180 pounds, and you were expecting to hit that before your birthday, right?
Yeah. So June the 6th.
June the
So
6th. It's February now, and we've been working for 3 months, and you're already over halfway to your goal,
yeah, 18 pounds away.
or 18 pounds. You're already like three-quarters of the way.
Yeah. So
That's
it's like,
phenomenal.
yeah, it's something good. And it's,
Mhm,
like it's, how do you say it? It's not that hard. It's not like, and
mhm.
that's the biggest thing for me. This diet's not difficult, and
Yeah.
it's not like you're making some huge, change or a big sacrifice in your diet. Like the food is good, and
Hmm.
the portions are great, and you can always like, we've talked about in prior calls, like coming up with new ideas for different types of meals that adjust for your
Hmm.
work and your lifestyle, stuff like that. So it's the cheat meals, like like you enjoy your cheat meal, but sometimes it's like even your cheat meal, like we're saying, is more protein based, right,
Hmm.
than carbohydrate based. But it's good to have that, to be honest with you. Like it is it's almost like when you give a dog a biscuit for doing a trick in one way, right? I get that's
Yeah.
my cookie. That's my cookie. Just going to like
Yeah.
having something like that.
Totally. And at the same time, even back on the Christmas break and the holidays, right? Like
Oh yeah.
we allowed you to have that. Well, I gave you Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, and Christmas Day, and you still went down weight the next week on that check-in.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and that was crazy because it was 3 days of like sort of like eating, like smart one day, like smart, but what you wanted, because it was too hard. You're having like say your Christmas dinner, but then you might have a couple potato chips here and there, but
Hmm.
like or even chocolate or something, and
Hmm.
it's nice, but you still you still put the work in at the gym, right, and it counterbalances it. So I think I did lose, I think, 3 pounds, which was I thought I had to break even, or maybe gain one or two, but it was good.
That's phenomenal. And that's what it's all about, right? Like the sustainability in terms of not sacrificing yourself to this meal plan and having that flexibility. Because really, right, what we spoke about in past calls is how your perspective on food and controlling your portions and developing that sustainability to where you don't have to use the food scale for the rest of your life is really what the emphasis is in this program.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, how do you feel to just know that you don't have to sacrifice every single thing? You can still have that sustainability. How did that make you feel, especially with the cheat meals?
Oh, where that's what I mean. If anything's difficult or not rewarding, I
Hmm.
think it's people just get fed up with it. Like unless somebody's got some, real, their lifestyle is totally different, and they this is what they basically live for. For me, it's like I go to I have a management job, and I also have I run an age group for soccer, which is like a part-time job for me that they pay me for.
Yep.
So it's I'm busy planning, busy doing this, but I'm able to fit the diet in and
Hmm.
enjoy what I'm eating. That's the good part, because you come home and it's like, and it's simple for me in my lifestyle, because grocery shopping to me, you're buying right now the same things, right?
Yep.
So it's not like, and you know what you're having. It's not like you have to come home at night and say, oh, what am I having? What are we having tonight? What are we having on, the next night, we got an idea. So it's very simple to do. And it's, like I said, it's not a burden. You know what I mean? You don't come home and going, oh, like I got to do this, I got to do that. So with meal prep and stuff like that, it makes things easier. And the routine, the morning, I never ate breakfast really before. Now I'm eating the breakfast and taking my my supplements and uh, vitamins, whatever I need to take, right? So I take
Hmm.
all that, and it works out really well. It's like I said, if it's easy, if it's made easy in one way,
Hmm.
it makes everything else fall into place, because it's not, like I said, it's not a burden.
Hmm. And for the meal prepping, because the way we've catered this out, right, was basically simplifying it to what you like and what you needed. And the biggest thing is time, right? When you have a busy schedule, decision fatigue is one of the biggest things that drains everyone, just thinking what to do, what to have next.
Yeah.
Based off this program, how have you found the time, like in terms of preparing for the week for this meal prep? Because quite honestly, we've all been there trying to meal prep things and it gets hectic. It takes a lot of time out of our day.
Yeah, well, my wife's doing the program, so it's easy for the both of us, and we're very, like through communication, we're organized with like, obviously with, when we make the rice and how we've even, changed up the rice with the basmati and the jasmine mixed, to
Mhm.
make the rice just different. How we, we created some different ideas with the chicken, mix it up a bit, but we're always, working together to make sure that, when one comes home that, we don't have to start, like doing all this prep. So it's like it's there, you assemble it, right? And then, then I'm out to soccer twice a week, right? Or if I'm late back from work, right, and I have meetings or whatever, it's easy for me to simply just eat in one way instead of oh, I can't do that right now. I've got to spend, 45 minutes getting my dinner together, right? So it's like you're in and out. So it's just that, but it's that communication or just your your organization to, even if I was by myself, you make sure that, you know,
Mhm.
on days when you have time off on the weekends that you start to, make enough rice, right? And then you make your vegetables and you make your chicken and your ground beef, all that stuff. So it's
Mhm.
if you're organized with it, it just makes life simple.
100%. It's just a huge weight taken off your shoulders, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Oh yeah, for sure. Like you don't have, like I said before, it's like, you do groceries and you're like, what are we gonna have this week? At
Hmm.
least now it's like it's almost going like when I was a kid when I went to St. David's when they brought uniforms in. You didn't have to worry about what you're wearing. You wore the same thing, right?
Hmm.
So, or you'd mix it up a little bit. You might wear, certain thing, part of your uniform one day, part not the next, or, it's the same as what we're doing now, right?
Exactly, exactly. So my next question for you is, with your long hours and your high stress job, what did you think fat loss was going to be getting or before you got into this program?
Um, well, like I said, I thought, you never know with the diet, like how's the diet gonna, how are you gonna react to the diet with your time and just, is it appealing?
Hmm.
Right. So I thought that, and then I thought that would be an issue. And then, what is the cardio and the, that, and now I'm doing a bit of a, my workout program now. Right. So, I thought what was the timing on that, or, like what was the, yeah, I'd say how many days do you need to do it and stuff like that, or, the program itself. Some programs, like you could do, you want to make sure that you're getting the results when you mix both of them. So
Hmm.
now that I've gone through, you know, the diet and the cardio and I start and it's like it's actually all working in the one, right? So it's one's helping the other one out and it's helping it out in a way where it's positive for my timing and it's positive, for the results I'm seeing. So it's positive for my, mentally I'm, like dialed in because, like I'm finding everything enjoyable, right? Through the meal, the exercise and everything. And then in the end I'm losing weight. My fat loss is there. I'm almost at my goal. Or, you just, like I said, you feel better. And the better you feel, the more easy it is to do all, more things. Right. So, so that's the way I feel like with, like a guy like me that is working all the time, right. And has other things to do. Like that's why it's such a positive, easy thing to follow. Right. So,
Hmm. And how does that feel for not only yourself, but for the people you show up for in your life? Have you noticed a change?
yeah, like, like I've, with soccer, I've got, 27 10-year-old boys and I have four coaches with me
Hmm.
and the boys switch into two teams so like it's easier if I find them more mobile obviously on the field. My hip feels better. You
Yeah.
know I'm 32 or 34 pounds lighter so it's I can move a lot better. um like my cardio is up because it's 10K is not a problem right now so it's like I feel better on the field and I feel better like at work when I do my work. It's not it's not a problem when I have to do the more physical side of the job.
Hmm.
So everything sort of, and stress wise, as far as you're eating properly, but the cardio part of it,
Yeah.
is a good stress release, right? So you go out, and put the headphones in, do your cardio for I do about anywhere from I could go from anywhere from 45 to an hour,
Hmm.
right? 2 to 3 times a week. And then, it's for me, it's like you just forget the day, right? So, and you're doing, as you're forgetting the day, you're doing something positive for your mental and physical health too. So,
100%, right? Coming off of a long shift and especially with holding a stressful job, it's a big stress reliever, right? Like how do you feel kind of coming home from work and just having that time to yourself?
well, it's good. Like I said, I still have some sacrifices I got to make for,
Yeah.
other stuff, right? But I enjoy it. It's, how do you say that? It's like, I think you feed off the achievement, right? So,
Hmm.
you're feeling better, you've done, you're starting to reach your goal, right?
Hmm.
And so there is a light at the end of the tunnel, where before it's like, okay, that that light's not getting brighter. You know what I mean? You stall, and it can be frustrating. But
Yeah.
yeah, once I've now broken like under 205, it's been,
Hmm.
like, I'm pretty positive now that it's any, and with my worth ethic, and the way I've dialed into this, and I'm
Hmm.
sort of a numbers guy, so it's more of a, those days when you come home, you're tired, you go, I don't really want to go to do cardio, and then you just do, and it's amazing. Some of the best workouts you have is when you've got that in your head where, I can't go, I
Hmm.
just don't feel like it. I've had a hard day, and then you
Yeah.
go, and you get home, and you obviously you feel better, right? But then you also get that, that sense of achievement. I went,
Hmm.
it's only going to benefit me in a positive way, right? So, so it helps you get to your goal quicker, right? So it's like, I think anyone would want to feel that way, instead of saying,
Hmm.
uh, maybe not,
Hmm.
maybe I'll go tomorrow instead. And then something else, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, especially in my position. So
Hmm.
yeah, so, making those, little sacrifices, and, seeing results helps you stay positive, and, want to continue to, work the program, and, get those results.
Yeah, and it's certainly just stacking that proof and doing the things that you say you do is one of the biggest drivers, and simplifying it down to bite-sized portions and then going into it is really what gives you the sustainability in the long run. What's been different about this approach compared to what you've tried in the past?
Um, the diet's a big one.
Yeah.
Like I said, the diet, and, measuring out your, food on the scale is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's pretty simple. I think
Hmm.
the diet, you know, the uh, the cardio program is good. I've done something similar before, but it's mainly for me, because I was athletic, growing up. I was, played a lot of different sports and stuff like that. So, like, and I could have been, like, good at long distance running, right?
Hmm.
So I don't mind the cardio, and, so it's to me, but the main thing is the diet, right? That's what I've always wanted, like a proper diet,
Yeah.
to go along with your other end of the stick, with your hard work, like your physical work. So I think the diet is an easy, like, enjoyable diet. So it you just continue with it. It almost becomes like your lifestyle. It's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with eating what you're eating. It's not like you're
Mhm.
eating, like sand, or like sawdust. It's enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Totally. And to further on that, the whole foods approach, how have you been liking the whole food nutrient dense diet compared to what you were eating previously?
It's similar in one way. It's not that much, like, it's not that much, totally, like, huge. There is a difference, but it's not a huge difference. Like,
Hmm.
even when I have cheat meals, I still seem to lean, towards the proteins and the fibers over the carbohydrates, right? So,
Hmm.
it's funny how that works, but it's not like, people got to understand, it's not like you're eating, smoothies and shakes, and, all these
Hmm.
other things. You're eating actually proper food, right? So and you're getting results where you're eating proper food. And I remember one time we ran out of our bowls, and I had to use a plate. And when I put my meal on the plate, like, the plate is full,
Yeah.
it's not like you think, you've got you're eating, half plates, and that's how it's working for you to lose weight. You're actually eating, right?
Hmm.
You're eating proper and the proper amount and still losing weight.
And so, how has that impacted your health and how you feel like on a day-to-day basis?
My health, it's like I feel good. Like I said, when you come off, my hip feels better, off blood pressure medication, just overall, um, like handling like the stress is help, like because the
Yeah.
exercise, right? And maybe even the diet, helps you with I with stress because I do manage.
Hmm.
Uh, I have 12 people I have to manage. Plus I have like, I bet you, I'm looking at like say 15 or 1600 customers between two managers, right? So you're dealing with the
Yeah.
public. So it helps balance things out, so it's like there's a lot of positives
Hmm.
with this diet. So yeah, so there's a lot there that I've benefited from. It's I think it's rewarding my health through my
Hmm.
work, right? So it's a big reward for me.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
it's a big win too, because if you're, like I said, I can walk without pain, and then I can not worry about taking my blood pressure medication.
Yeah, and just having that simplicity and being able to plug and play everything, right? It's that weight off of your shoulders, especially when you have the busier days dealing with. Have you noticed any changes in how people at work or in your day-to-day life respond to you?
Oh yeah, like the guys at work, obviously in the winter, like I got a big coat on and stuff like that, right? Or when I used to go to, it's cold out, so even when I go to gym, I got I always have a hoodie or something on. It's freezing, right? So, um, yeah, I have a bunch of customers now that I haven't seen for a bit.
Mhm.
They make comments, like one of them actually said, "Are you feeling okay?" Because sometimes people think because they see you and you've lost a lot of weight, they think there's you have sickness or something like that, and I explain to them,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and they express interest. And then I've also, like even this morning, I've got picked up by a guy I haven't seen in like 2 months that I used to be my assistant coach at soccer.
Hmm.
He's going to take me to watch. I coached his son. He's older now, so I went with him to watch a game, and uh, I got in the car, and he goes, "Dude, what happened to you? Did you lose a ton of weight?" And I start laughing, and I go, "Yeah." And the first thing I say to people is like, because it's, I'm one of those guys that don't really take well to compliments for some reason. So, I said to him, "Yeah, but it's simple." That's the first thing I say to him. That's just the word I use. It's simple. It's not that hard. And he
Hmm.
takes care of himself too, right? And we bounce some ideas off each other.
Hmm.
But yeah, he was. And then when I got to the soccer, some of the coaches I have coached with, said like,
Hmm.
"Are you fading away?" Or look at you, because so it's good, right? So it's
Hmm.
nice. But like I said, if you're not, for me, it's like I'm not, one of those guys that are used to, taking compliments and stuff like that. But you know what? It regardless, it does make you feel, like people are seeing your accomplishments, and they realize it's, especially guys around my age, they know it's hard work, because
Hmm.
but I do think that myth, if people say, oh, as you get older, it's harder to lose this and to do this, well, obviously I'm proof that it's not,
Hmm.
so it's,
100%.
yeah. So I think it's just, and I think, in my generation, I think there's a lot of people out there that, would, you know, like to lose weight, you know what I mean? They don't have time, but they don't realize with certain things, certain diets and certain programs, you don't realize you do have the time,
Hmm.
right? So, but it's like I said, it's just one of those things. You just, as soon as you know, sacrifice a little bit and buy into it, like,
Hmm.
like I'm happy that people are seeing it. My wife sees it, my kids see it,
Hmm.
my mom and dad see it, and my dad, we have, like heart disease in our family. And for my
Hmm.
dad's side of the family, my dad has outlived any of like his dad, his grandfather, his great grandfather, and they've all passed away with heart attacks. So it's like, it's a good thing there, to feel, make sure you're taking care of yourself. But back then they probably didn't, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Especially, sorry, continue.
no, you go ahead.
especially when you have loved ones in your life who are noticing that, it's definitely a big impact. And for you, how did that really impact you when your parents noticed that change?
Oh, it's funny because my father, he's 78. He's got he's I think he's controlling by diabetes through diet. Um, so when he found out he had diabetes and the diet he used,
Hmm.
right, he was like teasing me a bit.
Hmm.
I think he awkwardly he can't come out and say, hey, you should watch your health, because it's getting a gut on me, right?
Yeah.
And he was teasing me, so he's calling me making little little digs here and then again because we like to tease each other.
Yeah.
And then now he's got they think it's great, and he's asking questions. He's I think overall, like he sees me now and it's like, especially my mom makes comments, so it's like, first you can sort of see it in your face, and then it's like, you obviously you start to things start to fade away a bit, which is good. And you're or I the clothes I have on, starting, which I don't mind, they're starting to get some of them are
Hmm.
starting to get obviously baggy on me, or like I've got stuff that I have upstairs that I could never wear before, and now I can start to wear them again. Which that's
Hmm.
the funny part. Like when you can wear stuff you had from a few years to 5 years ago,
Hmm.
right? And especially the last time I was losing weight, and I still now it's like these clothes, they're but
Hmm.
and even some of my other clothes, like it's almost like it fashion comes around,
Yeah.
right? So 20, if I could probably wear, I don't have anything, but if I did have something that I had 25 years ago, it'd probably fit now.
Hmm. Would
Maybe that yeah, I have a Blue Jays World Series 93 jersey. Maybe I'll try and put that on.
you would you say that you feel more confident being able to fit into these clothes and show up for yourself in that way?
Yeah, I feel good for myself, but it's not about image.
Hmm.
Like some people think like it's, I some people want the image, but for me
Hmm.
at my age, I just it's health.
You just
I feel better. I can move. Like and especially coaching soccer, you look more the part, right?
Hmm.
If like you're, you see, like not I'm not saying anything about other coaches, or that's the way they are and they're great coaches and stuff like that, but sometimes with young kids, you look more the part,
Hmm.
so that helps too. And it's more, that's, I'd say, only thing about that, it looks good, it looks good in front of the kids for presentation for a
Yeah.
coach, especially younger kids. Older ones don't really care so much,
Yeah.
right? But they the younger ones do. I think they do a bit, but they I think for me it's health, right? Because
Hmm.
I want to be around, and be mobile, when my kids, have kids and stuff like that, for and be
Hmm.
there, to help them out and stuff like that. I want to be, like way overweight, and not being able to move with my hips and stuff like that, right? So that's
Hmm.
no fun. And I want to make sure that, you know, um, with my family history, that my heart is just as healthy as everything else, right? So I could, otherwise, without your health, you're basically nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And since we've been working together, do you feel like you're on the right path right now to achieving the successful life?
Yeah, and I don't see anything getting in the way of it either. You know what I mean? Like I just
Hmm.
made that commitment to it, and you stick to it, and you like I said, I think the results are addicting,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? And that, even when I'm done this, which we've discussed, there's a maintenance program, right? So, you can
Hmm.
still, but I think also with the maintenance program and everything else, you're still going to follow that strictly, because why would you put like all that work into something? It's like investing, millions and millions of dollars into something, and then you just let
Hmm.
somebody else run it and ignore it, right? You want to be,
100%.
you know what I mean? You want to make sure that I've invested my time and my sacrifice and my commitment and mentally everything into this. So I'm not about to let I'm not going to just like knock down what I've just built.
Exactly. And because we've altered that belief from when we started working together, and the understanding around the importance of nutrition and supplementation and taking care of your health. And with the health conditions and all-cause mortality rate is super prone to happen in our
Yeah,
society, that you're on this path to not being controlled around food, but you're actually in a better position to sustainably control your portion so that once you get out of this program, you're able to go into your life without relying fully on a food scale and being able to live a healthy and happy life
yeah.
as you're all intended to.
Like you're not a slave to the diet. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not that bad. It's not like it's like, and that's the key to it. To be honest with you, because you know, if you can, even if you're not like, I was more athletic, but even if you're not athletic, I'm pretty sure that, you can do, so many steps walking, or you could go to the gym and just rip off, 15, 20 minutes of cardio, and like a low impact cardio, you
Mhm.
just, because my one big thing I've learned in life is you get what you put into it, you'll get out of it. Right. If
Yeah.
you don't, and that's in everything you do. So, I think people like start, like, we all say to the kids in soccer, you start slow to go fast. So,
Mhm.
you start little steps, and as you get better, you progress, right? And every time you have a result, or you can, increase either the intensity or increase something, or, it's only positive to your
Mhm.
mental outlook, and your focus on everything. So, you're building stuff. So as you build stuff, you're more, how do you say that? You're more committed to it because you don't want it to fall down.
If someone with your age, your schedule, and was on the fence about starting, what would you tell them?
Um, I would tell them, first of all, it's like, there's a lot of different people that do this, and there's a lot of different programs out there, but sometimes it's easier to follow it when you have like a coach for this, someone to help you out, and like bounce questions off, or someone that can curve things for your lifestyle and your diet and what suits you, and still get results. So um, I would say also that when I looked at other people, it's like, some people might be intimidated, obviously, by your age, right? But I'm glad I made that decision, right? Because like I said, I've tried a few different things or different programs, but this has seemed to be like zoomed really quick. Like it's like quick results, and
Mhm.
I'm average, so it's not like I have like a high metabolism or anything like that. So like
Mhm.
it's effective, and like I said, it's made so easy through your program and through your coaching style, and your personality and your passion for it. Right, you're really passionate. You're probably always researching it, or learning from other people that you trust can make the correct decisions. So yeah, I think it was I said, like, the correct decision to make at my point in life, and it's
Mhm.
really benefited, especially me and my wife.
Mhm. And I'm just super happy, and you've been doing phenomenal with your results, and just I'm so proud of everything we've accomplished in this time, because it truly is just as inspiring to me to
Yeah,
see this results for you.
yeah, it's funny.
And yeah, and I want to ask you, for someone who is in your position and your age, who works busy schedules, who is skeptical about getting into programs based off of a busy lifestyle or people not understanding their position, what would you tell them in terms of your experience working with me?
Oh, it's very positive. Like, but people got to realize that, you know, in the end of the day, work is work, and when you leave the company, you're just a number, right? But you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of number one, right? You want to be around to enjoy when your work period's done, whether you retire or you leave your position through somewhere else. Like, you just want to make sure that you're going to be around. Otherwise, you've worked all your life, and then just you hear stories of people that retire and they're done. They just don't. A couple of years later, they've passed away, or you want to make sure that you're setting your life up, so you have a good life after work, right? So I think
Mhm.
that's the best. And like, if I was to say, to other people, like, it's just, like I said before, it's simple. You make it simple, right? Simple to ask you questions. It's simple to have the diet, simple to have the workout program. So it's like, it's not at all like I thought it was going to be. So, real positive experience. And, I am having positive results, But I know, like, through my wife, she's works at home, so she's into this, and her results, like, even that first, she a couple weeks there, she stalled it, and you were able to solve it, and she's on her way really good right now. And then with
Mhm.
me, just if I have questions, like we had the other day about me with when I'm busy at work and it's hard for me to have lunch, what can I have, like, say if I grab a coffee, what can I have with it just to help me, you know
Mhm.
survive over to when I get home to eat, or even if I have to rush out, I'm still got something in me a bit. So and you've researching different ideas of what we can do, or even if you don't help it, or you have help like I do,
Mhm.
like, you can communicate, prepare in time, and then you're just measuring
Mhm.
it and heating it up, and away you go. So it's and then even with that, when it's prepared, you're not sitting there making dinner for, the time you eat 2 dishes and dinner, it's an hour and a half gone or more. Right now, you're
Mhm.
spending that time. You've got the time to either work out, you've got the time to recover, or do whatever else you need to do in life.